You have to remember that time is a gift, not something you're entitled to. And no matter how hard you try, you can't control it. The only thing you can do is choose how to spend the time you're given. So make sure you're celebrating every moment you get.
Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Afro Boss Lady Show. As you guys can see, I figured today's gonna be different. I'm not gonna be indoor because look at that, it's beautiful. Just don't mind the noise. I know there's a lot of background noise. That's my reality here in Douala. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna have to get used to. But anyway, I wanted to talk about the topic of I don't dream of labor. I've been seeing this I don't know, this viral content going on YouTube where people actually talk about how they don't want to work. Many people are now quitting their jobs. So I figured, coming from somebody who owns multiple businesses, coming from somebody who also quit her job, maybe I'm in a better position to tell you some of the little things that you have to know about the entrepreneurship life if you're about to quit your job in order to move into entrepreneurship. So let's get started. Guys, I have to use this fan because it's too hot and I'm outside, so there's no fan, there's no AC. So the first thing first, if you're in a position where you feel like maybe you don't want to work anymore for somebody, maybe you don't dream of labor. First of all, that's actually a myth. I think to a certain extent, I always say this thing about how I want to retire, and I do want to retire by age of 40. Doesn't mean I'm never going to be working. No, I have companies to run. I'm going to have, other projects coming up. So I still feel like I'm still going to work, but I just want to be in a better position where I feel like I have put people in leadership position who can actually run the businesses. That's why I call it retirement. Retirement doesn't mean I'm just going to be sitting here sipping some lemon water and just going about my business. So the first thing first, and I'm gonna talk here based on my personal experience because I feel like the best lessons are usually from the people who have gone through the same route, right? So I'm somebody who also quit my job at some point, and I've never actually shared the story on how I quit my job, which if I have some time to put all of the information together, I will certainly share that with you as well. One of the issues that I find in terms of the millennials, right, the millennials who wants to go into entrepreneurship, is that many of them don't have an idea what they want to do. And I've always gotten the question, but what can I do? One of the reasons that really drove me to invest into this education system is really because I went through the education system here in Cameroon, and best believe that I wasn't considered smart at all. I was actually considered quite average to mediocre. Like, I wasn't considered smart at all. It wasn't until I went to the US in university, I started going through my courses, and I realized that I could grasp the material, I could understand, I could even tutor other people. I went through my master and I was an honor student. So I saw the difference in the education system. Of course, I didn't go to elementary school or high school in the US, but just from me being an outsider, right, being in the US, living in the US, and seeing how kids who are in first grade, who are in kindergarten, how they express themselves in a way where I've never seen kids in Cameroon express themselves that way. So that was what drove me into really saying, okay, maybe if we want change in Cameroon, if we want change in the education system, we have to be the change makers. And of course, my sister agreed with me on that idea, and then we partnered together, and today we have a thriving school. So now, I'm telling you all of this so that you can have an idea how some of us entrepreneurs really started. So it's not just you get up in the morning and you say, let me have a business. No, you really have to think it through. So the first thing is to Look around you, look at the people around you, look at the businesses around you, look at the entrepreneurs around you. What is it that they are doing wrong? What are the problems in your neighborhood? If you are thinking maybe you want to relocate back to Africa, maybe you an African diaspora and you want to relocate back to Africa, you have to think of the problems that we currently having in our societies and how you can bring a solution to them. That's how you see businesses thriving. If you go into business thinking that it's just all about money, you're really not going to make it. It's just going to be for the short term, and you're probably going to be one of those overnight success that also becomes an overnight failure, right? So that would be the first thing. You have to think of an idea that is really solving a problem. So the second thing that I'm going to tell you is that you really have to transition. I cannot emphasize enough about this because I feel like many people nowadays, and I'm talking to the millennials because I feel like many people are just making a decision in a spur of a moment and saying, I quit. This is not how you quit, right? There are many people who wanted to quit. I was one of them. I wanted to quit 5 years before I actually quit. I wanted to quit before I even launched the business. So the reason why I'm really emphasizing on you have to transition is really because when you're starting out a business, right, you don't have the funds. First of all, if that business is going to cost you a lot of money to even get started, you're going to need some money. And the worst thing that you can do, which is not really the worst thing, it depends on your idea, right? If you have $1 million idea, banks are going to be willing to invest in you. But if your idea is not going to be $1 million idea, then you have to come up with your own funds, or you have to loan some money from family members, relatives, friends. Initially, you want people to trust you. You want people to know that you've already invested your own chunk of money before they can match that amount, right? So that's why I'm saying you have to transition, because transitioning allows you to not only have the funds to start up your business, but also allow you to really test your business, right? Your business idea. Because it's really not about, oh my God, I have a business. No, life doesn't work like that. I remember the first years of me investing into my businesses, I didn't see a dime. And when I say I didn't see a dime, because you have to really take into account everything you have spent in order to get that business started versus the revenues that you are getting, right? So it's really not something that you should take lightly. I know many people are in a position where they feel like, I'm really tired of my job, I feel like quitting. Another annoying thing is really when you go on social media and you see the people who are living the dream life that you want to live. But here's the thing though, you don't know the first chapter. You were not there in chapter 1, in chapter 0. You were not there to see how they struggled. You were not there to see the failures. You were not there to see how many times they had to get back up and really trust themselves that this business was going to work, right? There were so many times that I wanted to quit my jobs. There were so many times that I wanted to just give up. But guess what? I was reminded that I needed the money first of all. I needed the experience, because whether you like it or not, if you're in a professional career right now, you're getting an experience that you're going to be most likely you're going to use some of those skills when you're building your own companies. So when you become an entrepreneur, nobody tells you how to be a CEO. Nobody tells you how to manage people. You have to figure it out. And you have to figure out not only how to make money, you have to figure out how to manage people. And managing people is the biggest thing, right? It's the biggest thing, because you can have $1 million idea, but if you have the wrong people, guess what? That $1 million idea is going to become a failure as well. So being a CEO is really a position that you have to learn, and you learn as you go, right? And you're lucky if you have a mentor who can show you step by step how you should go about building and structuring your company. But most of the time, self-made millionaires or billionaires that you see, they have to figure it out. I don't have to figure it out, and I'm not even a millionaire in dollar. I'm not a millionaire yet, but I'm getting there. So anyway, all of that to say, you have to transition. Don't be in a hurry to just get up and go, because one thing you don't know is that being a full-time entrepreneur does not really guarantee an income at the end of the month or at the beginning of each month. I don't know if you guys actually understand this. Being a full-time entrepreneur does not guarantee any type of revenues. There will be months where, of course, you're gonna have more than what you expected, and there will be months where you will have almost nothing. And you always have to be on your toes, because that's just how this lifestyle is. And in the beginning of your career, the beginning of your journey of becoming an entrepreneur, guess what? You're not wearing a suit. You're not just chilling, because you're doing everything that an admin person will do. You're doing everything that an accountant will do. You're doing everything. You know why? Because you don't have enough money to afford those people yet. That's why it's really important to take it slow and really transition. So there are so many other tips that I can give you, but I really didn't intend for this video to be too long. I just wanted to remind you something. I don't dream of labor. What has been going on YouTube, on social media, people saying I don't dream of labor, and people wanting to quit their job in a spur of a moment, is everything has to be strategically thought of, right? You don't just get up and say I'm gonna quit my job, unless you really have a good support system where you know you won't have to pay bills, where you know some other people are going to be taking care of you, or maybe you have trust funds that you know you can live on. So everything has to be thought of. Me moving to Cameroon wasn't just in a spur of a moment, you know. I planned my move to Cameroon. I planned it for years. Before I even had the first business, I was already planning how am I going to move to Cameroon. So everything has to be thought of. That's all I'm trying to say. I know people who have jobs and they are so happy. And I'm not saying you have to go into entrepreneurship life, because that's not the solution. Being an entrepreneur is not easy, otherwise many people would be here. Many people would have done it already, but it's not easy. And I know people who have tried and then they went back into a 9-to-5 job, right? Even me sitting here today, I'm not really certain, and nothing is guaranteed, right? I've seen companies during the pandemic that were making really good numbers and went bankrupt. So nothing is really guaranteed. You can have employees making your company sink. You can have the pandemic making your company sink, just like you can have yourself, you know, getting sick and not being able to operate your company, and your company is just going to go down. So chill out. I know some of you are tired, and I'm tired. I'm tired every day, guys. Like, I'm tired every day, and I don't even work for somebody. So I know we're tired. I know we want to go into this thing of the dream life that other people are living, and we can see it on social media. Heck, I see people on social media every day. I'm like, I want that life, you know, but I don't live that life. It may look like I may have a little bit of that life, but no, guys, there's a lot more behind the scene that you guys don't get to see. So I hope you guys really like this video. I hope it gave you a type of, you know, just an insight of the things that you should be preparing for. Let me know what really caught your attention. Comment down below if you have any additional tips. And of course, there are many hundreds of tips that we can give out there, but this was just a reminder. Before you jump into you don't want to work for somebody, just think of those things, right? Because it's really important. So thank you guys for watching. I hope I'm gonna see you next time. I'm still getting used to the noise because I feel like it's too much. My sister Gabby always tell me, but I like the noise because that's what makes Cameroon Cameroon. I'm just like, it's too noisy. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. Do you want to see more outside, outdoor type of video, or indoor is better? So let me know. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye.